Okay, I would like to welcome everyone to the Hurley Investments commentary for Monday, the 15th of April. It is tax day. Taxes are happening, taxes are going on. Pay your taxes. If you don't, you'll get caught. It's not worth it, and that's all you need to know. Today, I'm going to go into something that's a little different that maybe we haven't used before, but if I was to ask you, when does earnings season start? What would you tell me? If I was to ask you, hey, when does earnings season start? What would you tell me? Every quarter. But I'm asking when it starts. When does earnings start? 2 weeks ago, I have last week, I have in what I traditionally saw, and Mary, I'm going to agree with you. Usually, it's been when Alcoa reports. But you might, I can't spell with beans, you might have some bigger banks that report the week before. So, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was something like 83% report between Alcoa, which is on Wednesday the 17th, and 6 weeks into the future. Like 83% that report in that 6 week period. Now you might miss Citibank of Goldman Sachs, a Bank of America tomorrow, a Johnson and Johnson tomorrow, United Healthcare, IBM. Last week you missed Bed Bath and Beyond and Delta Airlines, JP Morgan, PNC, and Wells Fargo on Friday. So yeah, it's about a week before that you normally have your earnings season with some bigger banks technically report. But usually it's 80 some odd percent reports between Alcoa and 6 weeks after that. And Alcoa reports this Wednesday. With that said, what I want to talk to you about is when should you have started your earnings list for stocks you trade? When should you have started your earnings list for stocks that you trade? Maud, maybe say your answer again. I see. You know what? That's good. I'm teaching you guys. 3 of you came in with question marks to say you don't know. Dave and David, we talked about it. Well, there you go. Maud says 2 weeks ago. Well, before they report. And the correct answer is yeah. I started my list last Sunday, and not this Sunday, but the Sunday before. So I started it before last week's trade earnings, but I guess I started it last Sunday. Let's just call it the 7th. The 7th, yep. 0407 of 19. And was just a tad bit late. I probably should have done it the week before. So, Kevin, where do you find all this information? I just showed you for E-Trade, for some of you that were here, right? I was typing in orders here saying, hey, it's here. And really, I'm just looking for when E-Trade says their earnings are. Doesn't mean that they're always correct. Sometimes they're wrong. But plain and simple, I just go through and I do Zions and I do, Marathon Oil and Altria, Netflix tomorrow. And I just build a list. And in building that list, I've got in my notebook that I use. It's pretty simple. After the market close, done. AMD 0424. It's estimated, so I don't have an exact date yet for it. American Outdoor Brands Corp. 06 of 19. It's estimated. Don't have an exact date for it yet. Activision, that I don't really trade, right? 02 after the market closes. I do have a client that does Activision. Boeing, as I book on through, Boeing is 0424 before the market opens. Bank of America is tomorrow, right? Bank of America, 0416 before the market opens. Baidu, pretty important, 0425. It is estimated. CVS is at 0501 before the market opens. Seem to have a lot of before the market opens this year. DEA, which is a new one that I'm just following because a client has it. Maybe I'm going to sell that one. Disney will have theirs on 05 of 08, and I just lost Disney. After the market closes, Ford 04 of 25, and that's estimated. Ford's estimated still. That seems unusual. Confirm now after the market closes. So since I did mine last week, and since I checked it, I think last Thursday, Ford is now after the market closes. Nice to see we have that one. Facebook, 04 of 24 after the market closes. Freeport-McMoRan, 04 of 25, and that one looks to be a before the market opens. Interactive Brokers, 04 of 16, and that one is after the market closes. Intel, 04 of 25, after the market closes. We got an extra line in there. Intuitive Surgical. No, I do not trade all these, but I do have some clients who have brought some stuff over that I just pay attention to so that we're both looking at it. Lulu, 05 of 30, estimated. Altria is 04 of 25 before the market opens. Now, I know someone's going to tell me, Kevin, this is too much. And you are correct. No one person should be trading this much. It's too much to pay attention to. You cannot do it, nor should you have to spend this much time doing it. But it is things that I, unfortunately, am paying attention to. And it is too much work, and it is too much to accurately follow and go through. But it's also a little bit different when you get to do it day in and day out. When I sit here and all I do is I go through these things. So off you go. Schlumberger, 04 of 18. And I thought that one actually now had a date too. Schlumberger is confirmed before the market opens now. So I'm actually writing it on my little in a glance notebook. Target 05 of 22 before the market opens. UAA is estimated at 0502. We have Visa 04 of 24 after the market closes. It's going to be a busy freaking week next week. 04 of 22 after the market closes. So busy schedule. Next week's going to be busy. I had them written down because, plain and simple, if you are going to protect your stocks, most of us should have protection on tomorrow, Wednesday, and no later than Thursday. Why no later than Thursday? Anyone know? Anyone know why no later than Thursday for earnings next week? A couple more question marks. You know what? Someone just typed in cost too much, and that is true. You'll way overpay for volatility as it picks up. But Ida, winner, chicken dinner. Friday, the market is closed. It is Good Friday, so not only will you be taking weekend risk, you'll be taking a day of trading risk on Friday with other markets that are open. So, in all honesty, you have not only weekend risk, but you have market risk on Friday as the market is closed for Good Friday. With that said, where will our markets head higher, or where will our markets end toward? I cannot speak today. Where will our markets end this week? I'm going to go with higher. And the reason why is nothing more than coming down to earnings. If I was to look at things, I would think Bank of America, First Horizon National, even though their banks should both do better. Johnson & Johnson, United Healthcare, IBM, CSX, Netflix. I just see all of these doing better. Morgan Stanley, I'm not so sure, but Abbott Labs, PepsiCo, US Bank Corp, KMI, Honeywell should be doing better. PM, which is Philip Morris, and Schlumberger should also do better. I'm curious to see where Intuitive Surgical ends up. Be interesting to see if banks with new budgets that open up in 2019, if they went on a buying spree for Intuitive Surgical. So where will we end April? I'm still saying 2.5% higher. Obviously, we're a little bit above that right now from where it started. That is not it, though. That is the NASDAQ. We're looking at the S&P 500. Closed at 2905. Started the month around 2045. So I like where we're at. We haven't gone huge away. We are touching that overbought category, but we might be able to go above that with nothing more than some decent earnings coming up. So, looking at the Dow, still bullish, caught in a range. We did have our golden cross that occurred right here, in which case with a Trump deal, a China Trump deal, we could really see our markets juiced by another 5 to 6%. Looking at the S&P, we're just touching the overbought area, but we also have a golden cross occurred the beginning of the month. Something that I do pay attention to because that is a big institution, technical indicator. And last but not least, we are fighting the overbought in our golden cross third or fourth day in April. So there we are. There are technicals that are lining up. The overbought, though, makes me worry. And again, I see a lot of institutional money going in. A lot of institutional money has been going in. Maybe the institutional money is all in, which may make it a little bit difficult. But I would expect us to at least maybe go through May. Then you'll have that end of May, sell in May, and go away. And you're done. You're done till September when big money comes back in that way, shape, or form. Kind of stupid how big money just sits on things, but it's interesting to see how big money looks at their investments. So, with looking at this, based on all of the earnings that we have coming up, protection's looking to be added tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to kind of play the market, see if we can't continue to see an upward push. I like to pay as little for protection, as close to at the money as possible. I don't like losing or wasting, for all intents and purposes, profits that have already been made. But when I'm looking at the Trump deal, when I'm looking at earnings overall, being slightly out of the money does seem to be a good idea. It'll be interesting to see how things take off. All right, where are we going to next? Earnings this week, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, both of them beat on shares, but their revenue was atrocious. I haven't paid attention to Schwab. I'm pretty sure that's after the market closes, so I'll watch it. Bank of America will be important to me tomorrow. IBM as well, Netflix, CSX, Johnson & Johnson, First Horizon National, BlackRock, Abbott on Wednesday, Morgan Stanley, PepsiCo, U.S. Bank Corp, Alcoa, Kinder Morgan, Las Vegas Sands. Thursday, AXP, which is American Express Card, Honeywell, KeyBank, Philip Morris, UNP, Schlumberger, Intuitive Surgical. UNP is the railway, Union Pacific Railroad. Economic reports, not much moves our markets. A lot's crunched into Thursday. And usually we have home sales and building reports. I'm not sure where those are going to be. They'll usually be setting on Friday. So it might be interesting to see if those are in this week or if they get pushed out to next week. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, China will report its Q1 estimates for its GDP. This could, in all honesty, move the markets on Wednesday morning. If their GDP is down significantly, it seems like it affects all markets and it will affect ours as well. How am I looking to trade? I'm going along for the China deal. Next earnings, I expect to be better than expected earnings. But as I said, starting tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, good thing I can spell. long puts are going on stock positions. So what will I do with those long puts? With all honesty, if the earnings are good, I will probably be bull putting them, expecting a China deal to give me the net credit that I want when things are all said and done. As I keep going on here, I don't have a whole lot of news that I've noticed or came through in the last week. Apple stock posed to go through its largest earnings streak. Maybe, maybe not. I like where it's at. This goes back to the Wedbush raised target and the Cohen upgrade. Interesting little bit on our next downfall on how big of an impact will be from the Armstrong. I brought another one here on the Martin Armstrong. Thoughts on preferred stock and the type of dividend that they have. I like AT&T exited Hulu for $1.41 billion. It would not surprise me if Comcast also exits Hulu or ends up buying it from Disney. It'll be interesting to see, but where you could see a takeover of the Time Warner shares, it wouldn't surprise me if Disney does that. And then I confirmed the big news on Disney. Disney's Direct Plus, will it, if someone actually asked a question, really good, will Disney's live streaming affect Netflix dip in the earnings? Well, it can't affect it this time, and it doesn't even launch till November 12th of 2019, so it's not going to affect Netflix earnings really through June's earnings and September earnings. So I'm going to say no. Netflix earnings are going to be fine. In all honesty, with it being so cheap at $69.99 or $6.09 a month, what's probably going to happen for most people is that's cheap enough that that's a one-time purchase and we get it for the year. I do pay like $14 for 4 logins for Netflix. But to pay a one-time fee of like $69.99, I will most likely have a second service. I'll keep Netflix. I will also buy Disney because it's relatively cheap. Won't think twice about it. In fact, they offered me a 5-year plan to buy it in that $350 range. I would buy it and pay for it out to 5 years into the future. I also think, watch out for Endgame. Just to give you a heads up, it comes out, well, for us, it does a early release on Thursday, April 25th. But if you want to watch it Thursday night as late as 2 o'clock in the morning, if you want to watch it Friday after 4 o'clock and Saturday after 4 o'clock here in Utah, you cannot do it. Cinemark, AMC, they both have doubled up, so they usually will run a film every hour. Right now, we've got our bigger theaters that have doubled up where they're running this film every half an hour. And from pre-order sales for Thursday night, which is really Friday morning, right? The 11 o'clock showing, the 11:30, 12, 12:31, 1:32 a.m. showings are all booked. Anytime from 4 o'clock on Friday and Saturday in Utah, every ticket is booked for Cinemark and the AMC movie theater chain. So if I want to go watch Endgame, I need to do it sometime early Friday afternoon. I will tell you Saturday will also be booked up. Or out here in Utah, I'd have to do it on a Sunday, which is one of our religious days. It's our Sabbath, right? So being a highly Latter-day Saint orientated community, in Utah, movies won't do well, but anyone that is not a member of the predominant church faith out here in Utah will be watching it Sunday, I'm sure. So for all intents and purposes, I most likely cannot watch Endgame in Utah, as it's already double the capacity in the movie theaters and it's booked solid, where I cannot order a ticket. Which is interesting, because it might be, this might be the first billion-dollar weekend movie that we have, and it's a Disney Endgame movie where they take 60% of the cut. Pretty amazing. So with that said, what questions do you guys have? It's a little bit of a quick one. I don't have a whole lot for you. What questions do you guys have that I can answer for you today? Again, you'll probably see me get some protection going on tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. With that said, you have, well, what did I tell you? Slumberger on Thursday, CVX on Thursday. Well, not on Thursday, on Wednesday. Where is CVX? CSX. Never mind, it's CSX. Thinking the wrong one. I wonder if I typed that wrong in there. Thinking CVS, CSX. See, I got it right. What signs do you use to turn your long puts into bull put spread? I had a great question. I normally will allow earnings to go and go 2 to 3 days afterwards. And if the earnings has not had a retracement or has not filled their earnings day gap, I'm looking for some type of support level or round dollar figure if they're at all new time highs to place those short puts at. So for myself, I'm not too interested in getting back every penny I placed on my long puts. I would like to, but in real life and real trading, that is much harder to do than it is in a paper trading account. So for that reason, I do not necessarily look for every penny. I just look to make up some of it, knowing that my stock ownership is making up the majority, if not quite a bit more than I ever paid for long puts. So for me, I'm going to adjust if the stock takes off and can hold its gains for 2, 3, or 4 days. There's no real set rule there. I'm just following my cues from the market. And obviously the outlook has to be bullish, because on a bearish movement, you don't want to adjust your puts. You want to give them as much opportunity to gain as much value as that stock heads down. So you're in good shape there, and that's pretty easy to do. Good question. Are there any other questions? If there's not, I'd like to thank you for being with me today. I appreciate your attendance. I do hope this helps you. I should have this posted no later than noonish tomorrow, where if you'd like to check the stocks that you're trading against the stocks that I have on my watch list that I'm following the earnings reports, you'll be able to pick this up before the market closed, usually about noon Mountain Standard Time tomorrow. I'll have this published on myhurleyinvestment.com so I can have access to it. Guys, I appreciate being here tonight. Have a wonderful evening. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night on the trade findings and adjustments. You guys take care and have a wonderful evening, and I will talk with you later. Bye-bye.